The winter winds howled across the vast Wyoming territory, sweeping through the skeletal trees and turning the plains into a frozen expanse of white. Clara Whitmore clutched her younger sister, Lily's hand, as they approached the small, weather-beaten church on the edge of the town. Her breath formed clouds in the frigid air, and her heart pounded not from the cold, but from the impossible decision she had made. She had never imagined herself in love. Not really, but desperation had a way of bending one's morals. Lily's life was in danger, a shadow from their past. A cruel debt owed by their late father had come hunting for her sister. And in this unforgiving land, lawlessness was as common as the snowdrifts. Protection could only come through one path: marriage. A man stood waiting by the church door. His posture was stiff, his face lined with a quiet weariness that seemed older than his years. Samuel Garrett, a stranger to their family, but not to the rumors that trailed him like a shadow, had agreed to marry Clara. The conditions were simple. If she consented, he would take Lily under his protection, shielding her from those who sought her harm. Clara swallowed the lump in her throat and nodded. There was no time for hesitation. The church door creaked as she pushed it open, sunlight spilling into the dim interior. She felt the weight of every eye on her. The congregation had gathered for the winter service, but their curiosity was thick as the snow outside. Samuel extended his hand, and as Clara stepped forward, she sensed the hidden steel beneath his calm exterior. He was a man who carried secrets, of that she was certain. But she had secrets too. The quiet desperation that drove her, the love for her sister that outweighed everything else. The ceremony was brief, a formality in a world where survival often trumped emotion. Yet as the pastor pronounced them husband and wife, a strange warmth began to creep into Clara's chest. A mixture of relief, fear, and the faintest flicker of hope. She had made a deal with a stranger, but in this winter-bound town, strangers often became lifelines. Their life together began in a small, stone cabin on the outskirts of town. Snow blanketed the land, and the wind whispered through the cracks in the walls, carrying with it the secrets of the wilderness. Samuel proved to be a man of few words, but his actions spoke volumes. He built fences stronger than the law, hunted game through blizzards, and watched over Lily with a vigilance that made Clara's heart ache with gratitude. But as the days passed, Clara noticed the signs. Moments when Samuel's gaze lingered too long on the horizon. The careful way he guarded certain letters and packages. The quiet intensity that seemed to mask a life she could barely imagine. There was a story in him, one that he refused to share. One evening, as the fire crackled in their modest hearth, Clara dared to ask, "Samuel, what is it you're hiding?" He looked at her then, eyes shadowed by memory, and for the first time, the wall came down. "I am not who you think I am," he admitted, voice low. "I came to Wyoming to escape my past, but also to find justice for it." The revelation stunned Clara. Samuel had been a soldier once, a man who had witnessed atrocities that scarred him deeply. He had left the world behind, yet destiny had drawn him here, into her life, into a wintry pact that neither of them could have foreseen. Their days became a delicate balance of survival and secrecy. Clara worked the fields, tended the fire, and cared for Lily, while Samuel navigated a treacherous landscape of enemies, some old, some new, all threatening the fragile peace they had carved. Winter tightened around them, a relentless adversary, yet in the cold, their connection grew. Shared glances, quiet touches, the unspoken understanding that their fates were entwined. One night, as a blizzard raged outside, Clara awoke to the sound of whispers. Samuel was gone from the bed. She wrapped herself in her shawl and followed the faint trail of footprints in the snow. At the edge of the forest, she found him confronting a figure cloaked in darkness. A man from their past, intent on bringing harm to Lily. The confrontation was swift, brutal, yet silent, carried out under the veil of falling snow. When Samuel returned, breathless and bloodied, Clara understood the full weight of the secret he carried, and the depth of the man she had married. By spring, the snow melted, revealing a land that was still harsh, but now fertile with possibility. Clara and Samuel had survived the winter together, bound not just by necessity, but by trust, respect, and the faint beginnings of love. The hardships had forged a family stronger than either could have imagined. Two sisters, a stranger turned guardian, and a secret that no winter could ever bury. Clara stood on the porch of their cabin, watching the horizon glow with the first warmth of spring. Lily ran across the field, laughter echoing through the valley. Samuel joined her, a rare smile breaking across his face. The winter had been merciless, yet it had brought clarity. Love, in its purest form, often arrived under the guise of survival, in the harshest of landscapes, and from the most unexpected strangers. In the end, the snowbound secrets were no longer hidden. They were lived, embraced, and transformed into a story of resilience, courage, and the enduring power of family.